Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. We are back, baby. Don't at me with Alex and Michael live from Studio A in Beverly Hills. How we doing, baby?
What's up, man?
We got to get right to it. And right now, this is going to be an NBA special. With the season coming upon us, there's been lots and lots occurring this summer.
Yes.
And we're going to start one with Ben Simmons wants out of Philadelphia. So, Michael, what are your thoughts on the situation?
My thoughts, with me being someone who was such a Philly has a chance to have the next Magic and Kareem, which I was completely wrong. I believe that it's Ben Simmons' fault. He hasn't become the player that this team and city expected him to be. Embiid has done his part. Embiid is honestly one of the top 10, maybe 7 guys in the league.
Yes.
The expectation was Ben will be that guy there too, but he just hasn't grown. His numbers are pretty similar to his rookie year. He still isn't shooting the basketball. And even bigger than that, he is just not being aggressive enough on the offensive end to be an all-time great, a all-star player that's there, that's amongst the top guys in the league. Yeah. And it's just on him not putting the work, not trusting his ability enough to where, of course, the Philly fans are going to be mad. They know what they have. You know, they come from the Dr. J's, Moses Malone's. You have Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson. You know, now a guy like Embiid, they want you to match that aggressiveness and trying to be great. The fact that he doesn't do that, he gives us these terrible-ass videos in the offseason, him making jump shots and looking all like this player, like, oh, my gosh, watch out, league. Then he comes back and he's not doing it.
Nothing.
I don't see what his issue is. He knows that this is a business. Of course, you're going to always try to find something better. A team is going to be disappointed when you're the top seed and you lose. They didn't lose to Milwaukee or Brooklyn. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks.
They lost to themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Look, the same way that in baseball you always hear about guys signing exorbitant contracts and never living up to the value after that happens.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Ben Simmons.
Sure.
He suffers from the same syndrome that Andrew Wiggins does, which is I can be better, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to get paid what I want and do what I want on the court. He's proven that he's not a top option. He's proven that he's not a guy that's going to lead you to a championship numerous times over. And it's sad because this team, as Embiid pointed out, was built and catered towards Ben Simmons' skill set.
Yeah.
Realistically, surround him with shooters, guys that are very capable, guys that can get dunks in transition who are athletes. This is a team that put all their eggs in the basket of Ben Simmons, a guy that was way too early touted as the quote-unquote next one to the LeBron status, right?
Yeah.
We all have tried to make that comparison, and it's not fair because, 1, he doesn't have the mentality. 2, he doesn't have the game. And 3, most importantly, he hasn't shown a willingness to grow and change.
That's the crazy part to me is I think he does have the game. It just really comes down to that mentality.
He doesn't want it.
Yeah, it's like, how bad do you want this?
And clearly he doesn't want it enough.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia is tired, rightfully so.
Yes.
The problem, though, then becomes you have a guy who doesn't want to be on your squad, who's getting paid a lot of money, who's one of your most valuable assets. Other teams are very aware that his value has gone down because he doesn't want to play for you, so they can get him out of your team for less than market value. The Philadelphia 76ers are basically screwed at this point. They have a disgruntled star who has very high value that they're not going to get matched in the market.
Yeah.
We've seen this with guys like James Harden, Dwight Howard. All of these guys, when they got moved, they weren't
Shaq,
given. Exactly. They were traded for pennies on the dollar. And it's unfortunate, but I want Ben Simmons to suffer. I don't know how the rest of the NBA fans feel, but look, if you're a guy that's earning over $150 million total basically on a contract, you should be putting in the damn work. You should not be settling and being a distraction from your team. If you want to leave, handle your business behind closed doors. Don't let it leak out to the public. That's just disgusting because these are guys that you're playing with. As a media member, am looking at it from the standpoint of these are guys that are literally your day ones. The guys that you came in the door with, are building the chemistry with, and are guys that you claim are your best friends. And here you are shunning them out. That's going to set a bad precedent no matter where you end up.
Hey, can I say one thing to Ben Simmons? Just hoop. That's all you have to do. You are the point guard. You taking 0 shots in the fourth quarter. It is your fault. You are the point guard. You have the ball first. You are initiating the offense. If you decided, you know what, forget the offense, I'm about to just attack, it is what it is. You have the ball. Look at Russell Westbrook. That's what he does. James Harden say, I'm bringing it up. Nobody else touching it. It's your issue. Just hoop and figure it out, because Philly is the best situation for him to win a title.
Yes.
He can go to other teams and be the guy, and his team is going to be terrible. But if he wants to win a title, figure this out with Embiid. Be more aggressive as a scorer. And if you're a 20, 8 to 10 assists, 8 to 10 rebound guys, that's going to take you guys to the next level, and that can get you in the championship.
We have to talk about the vaccines in the NBA, Mike. This is going to be a contentious topic for those who are watching right now, because Mike are on very different ends of the spectrum. So I just want to get one brief thing out of the way before we start talking about the players and we start talking about our opinions. And that is, for me, players that utilize the term research, or just in general, anyone that utilizes the term research to defer their willingness or their ability to go get the vaccine. These, and in particular, we're talking about NBA players who definitely have the priority and are able to get the vaccine on any day at any given notice, because they are of higher status than most people. And they work for a private business.
Millionaires. Yeah, the millionaires.
Take note of what I just said, private business.
Okay.
The NBA is a private business, my friend. If they want to constitute that their athletes should all be vaccinated, they have the right. I happen to work at Fox Sports, and our rule is to do the same, because it's not just about ourselves. And that's what the NBA players that we are going to talk about are lacking the context towards.
Okay.
They're claiming that they have to do their research. What research do you have to do? Guys like Karl Anthony Towns had already lost his mother and numerous other family members to the virus. What did he do? He got the vaccine to prevent others from getting it. It's not about you. It's about your loved ones. It's about the players you play with, their loved ones. It's about your opponent's loved ones. You're getting the vaccine to ensure that those who are in high-risk categories are safe from this virus. Regardless of whether or not you are in the age range where you are a low risk, or if anything, you're going to recover, it makes zero difference. We are in a pandemic. People have died. NBA players have lost family members.
Yeah.
For those of the guys that are unwilling to get the vaccine, regardless of personal belief, or in particular, if they're claiming that they're going to do research or they're in the process of doing research, the research is out there, my friend. Check every news network. Go online. If you happen to believe that's all hooey-balooey bullshit, go to your local hospital and see the ICU wards. Go see what's going on inside these hospitals, who are over capacity and are struggling to even allow patients with cancer to come in and get treatment. We have legitimate people who are suffering from real health concerns that are unable to get help and be attended to, because there's so many people overflowing these ICUs because they got COVID and were unwilling to get the vaccine, right? You can get COVID as a breakthrough case with the vaccine, like I have. What happened to me? 3 days of being down for the count, I recovered and moved on. Why did I get the vaccine? To ensure my mother, my father, my siblings who are in those health risk categories, my nieces who are just about a year and 4 years old, from preventing them from getting this virus and suffering long term. It's unacceptable and disrespectful by these players to be so ignorant to what's going on in our nation, and the fact that they have the ability to do something that, one, can step on the whole concept of the hooey-fooey nonsense that people are throwing out there about what the vaccine does, like the Nicki Minaj's of the world claiming her cousin from Trinidad, who doesn't even exist, getting swollen testicles, all that.
That's wild.
It's nonsense.
No,
This is disrespectful, not to just the NBA, but to the fans and the citizens that look up to these guys and put them on a podium. Do your damn job and be an idol. Be someone that people can look to.
You said something very vital that I think a lot of these players look at when it comes to the vaccine. So you stated that you got the vaccine and then you got COVID. So a lot of guys are like, I could still get this virus. I can still spread this virus even if I'm vaccinated. So how is it truly a vaccine? So why would I jump into that where I could just wait until it's something that totally can wipe this thing out? For example, you have like the chicken pox. Who gets the chicken pox these days? No one really, because there's a legit vaccine.
Anti-vaxxers get chicken pox.
Yeah, anti-vaxxers. But if you take the vaccine, you're not going to get the chicken pox. You know what I'm saying? This vaccine doesn't do that. And I just hate the fact that the NBA are putting these guys into a space to where they're like legitimately forcing them to decide what to do with their own bodies. Kudos to the NFL. I think they have the right way to do it. They're like, you don't have to get it, But if you don't get it, if you get the virus, you're going to have to sit out longer than the guys who get the vaccine and come and play, because you're not forcing anybody to do something with their own bodies. It's freedom. Where's my freedom? If you're telling me, I know that I'll get paid millions to play in the NBA. I know that I'm a big figure, but the NBA needs, like, if you're Kyrie Irving, I sell a lot of shoes. My brand is big, I played in one of the greatest championship series of all time. So my brand is big. Why are you trying to force me to do something that I'm against, where you can just make rules that are kind of like, hey, if you catch it, you're going to have to sit out 14 days compared to 3, to where it makes the guys have to make a decision on whether they want to hurt their team or not, knowing that if I get to the playoffs, I catch it, damn, I have to miss 2 weeks. So that's something different. But making people have to put something in their body is what they're pretty much doing with the Wiggins situation and Kyrie, where your team, you can't play in your home state at your home games. That's 41 checks that you're going to miss. Now you're messing with my funds to feed my family because I don't want to do something with my body. I know people who have caught COVID with the vaccine. I know people who had the vaccine, caught COVID, and died. So that's why it's kind of like, why should I fully take this risk? Because I don't know what the vaccine is going to do to my body now or in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So why not wait until, so when people say research, I figure they're like, let's wait until time goes by, give this some time before, where we know this thing is fixed. We know that it works perfectly well. Then I want to make that jump. Why not give me that time and give me that choice with my own body?
You outright said that the NFL is doing their own thing, right?
Yeah, and I love what they're doing.
And the NFL is a private business. They're
Yeah.
allowed to do and design the way they want to,
Mm-hmm.
just as the NBA is.
Yeah, yeah.
You also mentioned that these guys are potentially having their funds messed with.
Yeah.
We're talking about guys who have multiple $1 million in the bank.
Yeah.
What are the family members of the guys that they could potentially be putting at risk for?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have that luxury. Their family members might not have $1 million in the bank, which means they're going to incur
true.
all the costs for medical bills and everything because one guy on another team or on your team decided not to get the vaccine, have it, then get in close contact with that relative.
No, yeah.
The way it works is it's the similar thing with the flu. We always get a flu shot every year because these viruses virulate, mutate,
I
evolve.
don't get a flu shot.
Yeah, which is why you end up staying home every year 2 weeks with a bad cold, and we can't do Don't At Me. Bang.
Cap. That's cap. That's super cap.
The truth of the matter is, though, these NBA players have a responsibility, not just to themselves. That's what I'm trying to get across. You're pointing out that it's to themselves, that they are doing what they want with their bodies to do X, Y, and Z, and then potentially have their funds messed with. But you got to remember, there are 15 other guys on that roster, which means there are dozens of other family members that could potentially be at risk categories and could potentially die from this virus. Yeah. We don't know if those family members have the vaccine or not. We might think that they are just propped up and hanging out, doing their thing in a nice, quiet space, basically away from the public. But any one encounter with a guy like Kyrie, Wiggins, Jonathan Isaac, Bradley Beal could be the last interaction that causes them to end up in the hospital.
They can do what they want. If you're not going to put this pressure on,
you can do what you want. You can do what you want, right? I am all in favor of you having your own agency unless it's a government mandate, right? And then at that point, because it's something serious, right? Things change, circumstances change. But these guys, at the end of the day, can do what they want. If a guy like Kyrie doesn't want to get the vaccine and the NBA decides everyone has to be vaccinated, you have an option. You can get the vaccine or retire.
Yeah,
that's it. It's simply put. You have options.
I just think that like you're taking this person away. And the NFL gave you a blueprint on how to do it, because that put pressure on the NFL guys, because it's like, how do you want to hurt your team knowing that this can happen? So they have to think about that. But some people just don't like Kyrie. We all know Kyrie. Kyrie left LeBron James because he doesn't feel, he never wants to be sunned or big broed. So he does not want to be sunned by the NBA to say, you need to go get this COVID. So he's going to be combative. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand the guys that you are dealing with. And these guys are millionaires. So they're like, bro, you really not about to tell me, because you telling me if Kyrie said, you know what, I'm going to go to the EuroLeague, that no one's going to throw him a big bag, they will throw him a bag.
No, they will.
So I just think that they need to respect the players and come up with something different. If you don't want to get it, okay, fine. But if you test positive from COVID, I don't care if it was the wrong test or messed up test, you got to sit out 14 days and make guys have to deal with that pressure and decide from there. You know, and some of those guys are like already had COVID once or twice. What, like, and look at me, I'm still here able to play. What is the difference with me having a vaccine or not? You know what I'm saying? So it's tough.
What do we always say in sports?
What's that?
The best ability is
availability.
And what happens if you don't have the vaccine and you get COVID?
Yeah.
You are what?
But
not available for 2 weeks, maybe more potentially. That's how it works. But if you get the vaccine, you might be only unavailable for what? 1, 2, 3, 4 days max.
But just to throw in a little NFL, chief guy I am. You all know, world.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 Chiefs, baby.
Get out of here. Be nice. But Tyrann Mathieu, he caught COVID. He's vaccinated. He pretty much missed 10 days. So where was the 3 days?
Because everyone's cases vary. Everyone's cases vary. You want prime example? Jason Tatum caught COVID and had to play all of last season with an inhaler.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Not everyone's body reacts similarly. And don't get me wrong. I respect I'm all for these players having their opinions as well as the right to choose what they want to do with their body, right?
Yeah.
And in the same breath, the reason I'm all for that is because at the end of the day, they have options.
Yeah.
You might not be playing ball in the NBA, but you have the option.
Yeah.
You have the option. And the NBA is a private business, and that's just how it is.
I got the final punchline, and this is what Kyrie would probably say to somebody.
Oh, Kyrie's used to doing the jab step. Why not just get the jab in the arm then?
And it'd just be like, y'all going crazy and trying to force us to do this. But when it comes to police brutality and all these things, what is really going on about that? So it's, it can go either way. You just pick and choose battles, and they're picking and choosing to choose this battle of this vaccination, where the NBA could have had a way bigger presence throughout their history when it comes to protecting not only the black athletes, but the people that look like them and their mom to that.
But that being said, look, the 5 players that we are currently discussing are Bradley Beal, Michael Porter Jr., who just got a big contract, which Denver now might be regretting. We also have Jonathan Isaac, Andrew Wiggins, and one more. Who am I forgetting?
Kyrie.
Oh, Kyrie, yes.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving.
And look, all these guys are great in their own right, and they have ability, right? These are no scrubs other than maybe Jonathan Isaac. Sorry, buddy, but I'm just keeping it real. At the end of the day, though, look, these guys have these God-given rights because, one, we are American. We have the right to do what we want with our body and our own agency. At the end of the day, though, these guys have to remember, and I stress this, that was my first point and it will be my last point.
Yeah.
The NBA is a private business. They can dictate what they want and how they want. But then the states also have their own rights that they can mandate. That's why San Francisco is not allowing that. And why New York State is also not allowing players that are unvaccinated or people that are unvaccinated to attend large gatherings.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword that these guys have to think about.
It's just very surprising because it's the NBA and they allow the players to have so much power. But, what's crazy is all the players could have came together and said, we're going to control this, but it just didn't happen. But I'm excited for the NBA season to come.
Yes.
I can't wait for it to happen. So be there, guys. I want to see Kyrie there, healthy. Kyrie is like worrying about COVID. I got to worry about my body's being healthy.
Look, I will end this point because I have been on the record for being hard on Kyrie, especially during this time.
Be
as
nice,
number
man. That's
11
my guy.
with the Celtics. Look, no. He's a new father. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your family. That's a blessing. I'm happy that you are finally in a place that you want to play, surrounded by the players that you want to play around. That's also a blessing. At the end of the day, I hope that you strongly do what you claim you're doing, the research, and at some point you are able to see the benefits and values of what is out there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm stressing. There's no hate.
But
it's just I'm stressing.
We hope to see all those guys, Bill, MPJ, Jonathan Isaac, Kyrie hooping, and we're looking for a great NBA season, so I can't wait. Lakers 18.
Let's go, baby. That's a joke. Okay. Well, guys, this has been the latest episode of Don't At Me with Alex and Michael, live from Studio A. We had a bit of a tumultuous conversation.
Yeah, it was fun. Still fun.
As usual, like, subscribe, comment. Check us out on social media. That is at Michael the PG. I am at Himes LA, Sensei Himes. Shalom, people.